Zimbabwe's Ministers of Mining, Tourism, Finance, Information and Broadcasting Services will be in South Africa in a bid to attract local investors to that country. According to estimates, South Africa's exports to Zimbabwe stood at $3.22 billion in 2022. Joining us is Conrad Mwanza, who's a business consultant and event organizer. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thanks, Paul, for having me, and good afternoon to all your viewers.
Talk to us about, you in charge of events and organizing this whole move. Talk to us about it and some of your expectations.
Look, as you know, in Zimbabwe, we have a perception issue. And there's a lot of opportunities that are on the ground. And we took this opportunity to invite the ministers to come and unpack these opportunities, to come and tell South African businesses and business people that there are a lot of opportunities on the ground. I can talk about many sectors. But we thought it would be a good time to come and appeal to businesses and South Africans that there are opportunities that they should consider in Zimbabwe as well. So that's the aim of the event.
So who will be coming to South Africa?
We have information, Minister of Information, which is like a publicity ministry. We have mining. We have Ministry in Finance and Agriculture, which are key sectors of the economy. So those are the ministers that are coming.
So you say there are perception issues. I mean, that on its own speaks to a lot, especially the soaring inflation, collapsing bond notes, and forcing more and more qualified people and professionals to flee the country in search of better opportunities. And you also speak about opportunities on the ground, but looking at the reality of some of the issues, the major challenges that Zimbabweans are facing, it doesn't sound accurate to say that they are,
No, but look, like any other country, we do have challenges in Zimbabwe, and especially if you look back from the land reform and the sanctions that have happened, there has been many challenges and economical challenges. But whatever, the government has put effort in improving people's lives. And some of the things that we can see, we can have tangible success stories. Like if you look at the agricultural sector, that is improving. We've got a lot of young people getting into commercial farming. We've got a lot of farmers in the tobacco sector. We've created over 200,000 black tobacco farmers actually in Zimbabwe, and making a lot of money in terms of earning forex. But if you look at some of the government efforts that have done, if you look at the road upgrades, you look at the power station that has been commissioned recently in Wange, and many other examples that I can say. But I'm not disputing that there are challenges. However, the government is making effort to improve these things, and it's an ongoing. And the more investors that they can come, and the better the country can improve. But there are opportunities on the country, that's for sure.
I want us to talk more about those opportunities in just a moment. But when it comes to the grounds for attracting investment, surely policy and economic stability are some of them in terms of prerequisites. How are you hoping to work around that?
No, look, Zimbabwe has a good track record in terms of policy, safety, security. We don't have issues in that aspect. But perhaps what I can maybe add towards what you're asking me is, if you look at many companies that come from South Africa, for example, you even in the beginning you said a figure. There's a lot of companies that are making a profit in Zimbabwe. The retail sector, the mining sector, Pick and Pay. South Africa is one of the biggest traders in Zimbabwe. So there are many opportunities. However, the best thing that I always tell people is come and see for yourself. I mean, that's the only thing that I could advise.
So how much are you hoping to make when it comes to attracting investors? And I mean, surely it's a two-sided thing.
It is a two-sided thing. It works both ways. What the ministers are coming to do is unpack those real opportunities, and I would invite some of them to come to Newzroom Afrika to come and tell you what exactly it is. So what we are doing is facilitating and bring them so that they can answer those real questions. But all I would be encouraging people to do is come to the event or come to the country so that you can at least see for yourself the opportunities that are on the ground.
When is the event happening?
The event is happening on the 19th of July.
So that's just before elections in Zimbabwe.
Elections are in August, but maybe to say that the business of government continues, whether there's elections or not, and the election is only a one-day process, and after that there's still a government, there's still opportunities are still there on the ground. With or without elections, the business has to continue.
You speak about many opportunities in Zimbabwe. I mean, there could be some people from Zimbabwe watching and thinking it doesn't make sense. What you're saying may not equate because, depending on the tiers, who are these opportunities for? Looking at the different classes and different levels when it comes to people who desperately want jobs and want their lives in order, but battling with access to all these brilliant opportunities that you speak of. Perhaps, I mean, you've spoken about the agricultural sector, how it's booming and young people are able to enter the sector, but there are still deeper challenges when it comes to the red tape in accessing those opportunities.
No, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, like any other country, there are challenges, as I kept saying on, but there are some certain things that the government has done. So I'll give you an example. There's an organization called ZIDA, which is a one-stop organization where you can open your business. Even if you're a local or foreigner, you can open your business, you can get your immigration sorted, you can get your licenses sorted. So there has been improvement that we've seen in this government, especially in the last 5 years, where opportunities are. But what tends to happen is because there is this overview where things is like a doomsday, and people are afraid to go and take those opportunities, and that's where the issue is. So for me, it's not that the opportunities are not open to everyone. People are afraid to go and explore these opportunities because of generally what they hear in the media or what the perception is about Zimbabwe. So my encouragement to especially black South Africans is just take a coach, take a plane, go and see Zimbabwe. It's got also many tourist attractions that you can learn. There's a lot to learn. Great Zimbabwe, Matopos, Victoria Falls. Go and see for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Don't take the minister's word for it. Don't take even the media. Don't take Twitter's word for it. Go and explore for yourself. That's what I would encourage people to do.
In terms of the attention and perhaps the potential investors that you're eyeing, what are you hoping to leave with as you embark on this event?
I'm hoping, that's a very good. I'm hoping to leave with more people wanting to go and explore opportunities on the ground. There are quite a few black South Africans that are now going into Zimbabwe to look for opportunities. Now, I'm not at liberty to say, but I've engaged quite a lot of black people who are now starting to consider Zimbabwe as an investment opportunity. So after this event, I will also be inviting businesses to go with us on the ground to go and see the true Zimbabwe that I call it. So there is one thing that we hear on the media.
The true Zimbabwe is in its paperwork, looking at the state of the economy, looking how the number of jobs that it's producing, the number of jobs it's not producing, the society in terms of cohesion. I mean, that in itself is telling just alone as you...
you can argue, but look, Zimbabwe has a big informal sector and a lot of traders. So people are trading amongst themselves, and that employment figure could be argued. But again, it's the people my friends that I've taken and some business people that I've taken to Zimbabwe are actually pleasantly surprised because, a typical South African would think Zimbabwe is falling apart. His body's on the road. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. There is a functioning economy. Yes, it has challenges, but it means also where there's challenges lies opportunities. So it's those opportunities that I want people to come and see. So.
How much money in terms of rands or dollars? I don't know. How much are you aiming for in terms of investment?
On this trip or just generally?
On this trip.
No, look, I think we can attract. I'll be happy with the 100 million plus US on this trip. But again, we are seeing a lot of interest in the mining sector. We are seeing a lot of interest in the agricultural sector. We are seeing a lot of interest in the food processing sector. So there are companies that are looking to go and establish themselves. Those that are already established are already making money in Zimbabwe. So it's an ongoing process. But I'll be looking at 100 million plus.
So the timing is also quite peculiar. Why now?
just
as elections are going to get underway?
No, but in the last 5 years, you know that it's been the government's posture and position to re-engage. It's part of ongoing re-engagement process. It just happens that it's also in July, but it's been happening for the last 5 years. I mean, Zimbabwe is trying to get into the Commonwealth. Zimbabwe is continuing to trade with South Africa. You know, there's a lot that is in terms of happening with the SADC region. So it's ongoing. The president was in Botswana last week. So it's the business has to continue. So it shouldn't be stopped by elections.
Yeah. Okay, very well. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in the studio. Let's perhaps leave it there. Conrad Mwanza, Zimbabwe's Economic Prospects event organizer, speaking to an event that is happening within this month. Of course, Zimbabwe's Minister of Mining, Tourism, Finance, Information and Broadcasting Services in South Africa in efforts to attract local investment.